Fernet DeMoss here, world's greatest food adventurer. You know, it was funny, the other night I had some people over for dinner and I brought out some of my packed peppers in oil. These are a spicy pepper that my mother taught me how to make. You serve them as kind of accompaniment to whatever you're eating. Think of it like a hot sauce. And my friend Christina had these and said, gosh, Fernet, these are fantastic. You gotta jar and sell these things. So I got the idea to jar and sell these things. They're called Fernet's Good Peppers.
What? No.
These are called Fernet's Good Peppers. And the tagline on these peppers is, they're good peppers. But I thought, you know what, I should show the people at home how to make these peppers because they are so simple to do. So we have our ingredients all here. We have grapefruit, we have limes. These are all local. You want to shop local, keep it local. These are oranges. Local garlic, it's a Russian red. This is a fleur de sel. Good quality salt doesn't burn your palate. It's a smoother taste. You always want to use good quality salt. This is an organic vegetable oil, and we have a Fresno pepper. I used a Fresno pepper today because when I was shopping, this is what looked the best, and that's really how you should shop. Normally when you're making dishes, you get inspired by what looks good at your produce stand. These Fresno peppers look great, but really you can use any pepper you want. My mother would always use a pepperoncini. You know, you could use a ghost pepper if you want. That's going to be extremely hot and you would only need a little bit. The Fresno pepper is sweet with a heat at the end of the palate, so you can really use a bit more, but all peppers will work for this recipe. Okay, so let's get started. Any dish that I start, I always grab a red cabbage. I'll cut that in half. And now I'll cut it in half one more time. And what I'll do now is I'll julienne. It's beautiful. And then I'll just, not quite a mince, but a dice of sorts. And then I'll do a rough chop with it. It's always fun to cut cabbage. Look at that. So that's what we do with the cabbage. I mean, I'll just throw this out, but you can do anything you want with that. Okay, great. Let's start with these peppers. Here we go. So, when working with something spicy, you always want to be very careful. Once you've touched the flesh, you don't want to touch your eyes or any sensitive areas on your body that will burn. It's not fun. Trust me, I've done it. So we're going to take these peppers, and we cut these peppers in half. I'll cut them in half again lengthwise, and then I'll take them down to maybe a bit bigger than a dice. Cooking is a lot of how you feel on the day. You don't really have to be consistent so much with this dish, but I feel like that's a good size, so that's what I'm going to stick with today. Now, once you have all your peppers chopped up in a bowl, this is when we would add some salt. And be liberal with the salt. You need a lot of salt for this dish. I'm going to go 3 huge pinches. I'm going to work this around a little bit. You could do this with a spoon, but I like getting into my food, so I'll mix it up with my hands a bit. Okay, now we have this. You take the salted peppers, you pour them into a fine mesh strainer, and then this goes back over the bowl. I can take a cloth at this point and just lay it over so nothing gets in there, but they stay out room temperature. And every, 12 hours, you can lift up the rag, you can just kind of agitate the peppers, working around the salt, and you'll see what'll happen now as the salt touches the peppers, the liquid is going to leach out of the bottom of the peppers and go into the bowl. It's essentially dehydrating the pepper. I'm going to do a little movie magic here. We'll fast forward. Once the pepper is dehydrated, after about 48, 72 hours, depending on the pepper, you put them back into a bowl. You take your oil, cover them in oil, and you just mix it around a bit. Then we grab our jar, clean jar. Make sure the jar has been sanitized like you would if you're going to can. And then we just transfer the peppers into the jar at this point. Take a little bit more oil and top it up, just so all the peppers are covered, and that's it. The oil acts as a preservative, keeps all the air away, and those peppers will last, up to a year, really. I doubt they'll last that long once you taste them, though. But they do need to go away for 3 weeks, and then they're ready. Magic. See, these peppers are completely different. They're thin, they're leached out, and this taste on them is unbelievable. But, wow, salty and spicy, but not too spicy. They're just unbelievable. You know what? I think peppers are great for the whole family. And yes, generally kids don't like peppers because they're spicy, but when I've done with these peppers, you'll buy them in the stores. You open it, oh, digging around. Oh, those are peppers. Yeah, more peppers. Oh, look what I found. Oh, that's not a pepper. That's a little toy. Isn't that fantastic? This is a troll, and this is for the kids. I got this idea from a good friend, Brian Petrucelli, who works for Create. It's a big company who came up with the idea of actually putting toys in cereals and things like that for children. So I thought, I'm gonna put toys in my peppers. Lost a foot on that one. The peppers are pretty acidic, so they might eat through plastic. I don't know. Now, at home, you're gonna wanna wash the toy off with hot water and soap. Make sure they're not putting their fingers in their eyes and stuff. Fernet de Moss here.
Do we need to cut?
No, I'm good. So that's all for today. These are really easy to do. Little elbow grease. Oh, I got some of the peppers in my eye. Oh, I need milk or something. Do we have?